Let's start with a name, Budev Mato. He was 39 years old.
And now, a number, 4 lakh rupees.
That's the amount of money he lost, an addiction that in the end cost him everything.
So that story, that's the tragic, heartbreaking entry point into a massive crisis that's unfolding across India. It's gotten so serious that it's prompted a major response from the government. Today, we're going to break down the real human cost of this online gaming addiction and explore the sweeping new plan to fight it.
It really does start with one person, Budev Matho, a textile worker from Gargan. His story began as just a casual hobby, something his colleagues introduced him to. But it spiraled into a secret, devastating battle with addiction. It's a deeply personal story that opens a window into this much larger national issue.
And here's the truly alarming part. Budev's story, it's not a one-off, not even close. All across the country, we're seeing similar headlines pop up with frightening regularity. It's revealing a really disturbing pattern of addiction, debt, and just utter despair. For instance, take the story of Vikas Rawat. He was just a kid, 17 years old, a student who started borrowing money to keep playing. He lost 35,000 rupees, and tragically, felt like there was no way out. You know, when you put these two stories side by side, you really see the scope of this crisis. On one hand, a 39-year-old worker, and on the other, a 17-year-old student. The amount of money is so different, but the devastating outcome is exactly the same. This proves it's not about your age or your income. This danger can affect absolutely anyone. The Times of India captured this vicious cycle perfectly. It starts with borrowing money, which just leads to the losses piling up. And that creates this deep, profound sense of shame that traps people. They're caught in this downward spiral of debt and depression, and they just feel like there's no escape. And if you need one single number to really grasp the scale of this, here it is: 32. That's the number of suicides that police in just one state, Karnataka, have linked directly to online gambling. And that was over just 31 months. Just think about that. That's more than one tragedy every single month in just one region of the country. It's staggering. And you have to understand, the damage goes so much deeper than just money. The real human cost hits in a few ways. Of course, there's the financial ruin. But right alongside that is the massive toll it takes on mental health. We're talking crippling stress, depression, and worse. And then there's the devastating strain it puts on families, just tearing relationships apart. So, faced with this growing wave of tragedies, the Indian government decided it had to step in and do something. This crisis really became the catalyst for a major new piece of legislation. So, what exactly is being targeted here? Well, the law is focused on something called real money online games. Basically, that's any game that involves betting actual money. And yes, that definitely includes those incredibly popular fantasy sports platforms that tons of people are using every day. All right, so this online gaming bill for 2025, it's really built on 3 core pillars. First, a simple blanket ban on all real money online games across the entire country. Second, there are going to be very strict penalties for anyone who breaks that ban. And third, the main goal behind it all is to finally regulate the industry and, most importantly, protect people from the very addiction and financial harm we've been talking about. And when they say strict penalties, they are not kidding. Just look at this. Anyone caught operating these banned games could face a fine of up to 1 crore rupees and even go to jail for up to 3 years. This is not a warning shot. It's a very clear signal that the government is taking this issue extremely seriously. But let's be real. A law, no matter how tough it is, can't solve the root problem of addiction all by itself. This crisis needs more than just a legislative fix, which of course raises the question, what else needs to be done? This is really where society has to step in. It takes a 3-pronged approach. First, we need to promote awareness, especially among young people, so they understand the very real risks. Second, we need to provide actual support systems, things like counseling and rehab services for people who are already struggling. And third, we have to actively encourage healthy, offline alternatives and hobbies. Ultimately, it all comes back to the names we started with, Budev Mato and Vikas Rawat. Their stories are so much more than headlines. They are the human faces of this crisis, and they serve as a powerful, constant reminder of why both legal action and social action are so desperately needed. A ban can take the games away, sure, but it can't take away the underlying addiction. The law can try to tackle the supply, but the real question is, how do we as a society address the demand? And how do we begin to heal the damage that's already been done? That is the enormous challenge that lies ahead.